Under the golden haze of the late afternoon sun, the gates of the sprawling estate glimmered like silent sentinels guarding a world of unimaginable wealth. But on this particular day, the man standing at those gates looked nothing like a billionaire. His faded navy uniform hung loosely over his lean frame, his cap sat low on his forehead, and his weathered hands gripped the cold iron bars as though they were the only thing keeping him upright. To anyone passing by, he was just another aging gatekeeper, earning an honest day's wage. No one could have guessed that behind the deep lines etched into his dark, dignified face was a man who owned more land than the eye could see, companies in half the world, and a heart that had been both blessed and broken by the choices of life. This was Henry Agar, and today his mission was not about protecting the estate but about protecting his only son's future. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of seeing people for who they truly are, not for what they have, take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to Ness Corner. Together, we can spread stories that touch hearts and inspire change. Henry's plan had taken shape over weeks, each day drawing him closer to the truth he needed to know. His son David was engaged to a stunning young woman named Naomi, whose beauty could light up a room, but whose heart Henry had not yet seen. He had watched too many friends lose fortunes and themselves by trusting the wrong person with their lives, so he decided on an old but revealing testy. He would disguise himself as a poor gatekeeper for a week, stationed right at the front of the estate. Naomi would one day enter as his daughter-in-law. No one but his most trusted assistant knew of this plan. To Naomi, he would be invisible unless her character proved otherwise. The first day passed quietly. Naomi arrived in a chauffeur-driven car, the gleam of a diamond bracelet catching the sun as she stepped out, her perfume trailing behind her like an announcement of importance. Henry greeted her with a polite nod, but she didn't glance his way. Her phone was more important. Day after day, it became clear that she barely noticed him. He opened the gates for her each morning and closed them each evening, rain or shine, without as much as a word from her lips. Henry wasn't looking for grand gestures, just a shred of kindness, but he found none. Then came the moment that would etch itself into his memory. Naomi had arrived earlier than usual, her red dress vivid against the ivory walls of the estate. She seemed irritated, muttering under her breath as she walked toward the gates. Henry opened them, stepping slightly aside. Without warning, she stopped in front of him, a plastic bottle in her hand, the liquid inside dark and sticky. With a smirk that didn't reach her eyes, she tipped it over his head. The cold drink soaked his cap, streamed down his face, and drenched his shirt in shame. She laughed, a sound sharp enough to pierce his heart, and walked away as though nothing had happened. Henry stood frozen. The uniform clung to his skin, and so did the humiliation. His mind raced back to his late wife, who had always said, "You see, a person's soul in how they treat those who can give them nothing." In that moment, Henry knew his son was standing on the edge of a future that could destroy him. But Henry wasn't quick to act. He wanted to be certain, to see if this cruelty was just a passing moment or the truth of her nature. Over the next few days, he observed her from the shadows. She never apologized. She never offered him a kind word even after that day. Instead, she seemed to grow more dismissive, more entitled. Henry's heart grew heavier, knowing the confrontation ahead would hurt his son deeply. When the day of truth finally came, Henry shed the faded uniform and stepped into the tailored suit that had once been his second skin. The gatekeeper was gone. The billionaire had returned. He summoned Naomi and David to the grand hall of the estate, its marble floors gleaming under the light of chandeliers that had witnessed generations of family gatherings. David was confused, unaware of what was about to unfold. Naomi's eyes widened when Henry walked in, no longer a hunched figure by the gates, but a man radiating quiet power. With a calm voice and eyes that missed nothing, Henry told the story of his week, of the gatekeeper who had been invisible, unworthy of her attention, until he became an object of ridicule. Naomi's face shifted from disbelief to panic, searching for words that wouldn't come. David's hand, once resting in hers, slowly pulled away. The silence in that hall was so deep it felt like the walls themselves were listening. Naomi tried to explain to excuse her behavior as a joke or a bad day, but the damage was done. Henry didn't raise his voice, didn't humiliate her further. He simply said that love without respect is a castle built on sand. The engagement ended that day, not with a storm of anger, but with the quiet, unshakable truth of a test failed. David was heartbroken, but in time he came to see his father's actions as an act of love, not interference. Months later, he met someone whose kindness shone even brighter than her smile, a woman who, upon meeting the real gatekeeper of the estate, shook his hand, and thanked him for his work. Henry watched them together one evening, the sound of their laughter echoing through the garden, and felt the heavy weight in his chest lift at last. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kinnis Corners so more people can witness the power of seeing beyond wealth and appearances. Before you go, I have a special request. Please comment below with your thoughts on this story. Do you think Henry did the right thing? Your words matter more than you know. Life has a way of revealing the truth when we least expect it. Sometimes the greatest tests are not in boardrooms, battlefields, or classrooms, but in the quiet, seemingly ordinary moments that show who we truly are. Henry's story is not just about wealth or deception. It is about the values that stand the test of time: kindness, respect, humility, and the courage to protect those we love from harm, even when it hurts. In a world where appearances can be deceiving, it is easy to judge someone by the clothes they wear, the car they drive, or the title they hold. But as Henry's disguise proved, none of those things can hide or enhance the true nature of a person's heart. A kind soul will shine no matter the circumstances, and an unkind one will eventually reveal itself, even under the brightest disguise. Many of us might never have to pretend to be someone else to uncover the truth. But we all face moments when we must decide who we will be to others. Will we be the person who looks away from someone struggling, or will we be the one who offers a hand? Will we judge based on what we see, or will we take the time to understand what lies within? If Henry's journey taught us anything, it is that love without kindness is hollow, and respect is the true foundation of any relationship worth keeping. Let this story be a reminder that the smallest actions, a smile, a thank you, a moment of patience can mean more than any grand display of wealth. If this message touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Kinnis Corner. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever seen someone's true character revealed in an unexpected moment?